Do you have an issue with impulse control? Have you let whole days slip away to make some little numbers go higher, just so that your chimp brain would release some serotonin with diminishing returns? Then this game is for you. Today we are reviewing Vampire Survivors. Despite having a vampire on the title screen and in the name, you don't fight a single vampire. I guess by that logic, we are all technically vampire survivors. Story. Vampire Survivors is clearly set in rural Italy in the year 2021. Hordes of monsters summoned by the evil Visconti Draculo ravage the land, and the Belpes family and other heroic survivors take it upon themselves to hunt down and defeat the Draculo. Those of you who have played this game might be asking, how the fuck did you get all that from this game? There is nothing in the game that even references anything you just mentioned. And you'd be right. I found these couple sentences on the wiki. It was the shortest section on there too. I have a sneaking suspicion that this game didn't have a story until asked for one. Gameplay. My first round went something like this. Alright, what was that? How do I do that? What button? Why does that keep happening? Then I realized, I'm not doing that. It's automated. In fact, every weapon in this game is automated. There isn't an actual attack button. The only thing you do in this game is move up, down, left, and right, and choose your next weapon once you level up. You'll eventually unlock the ability to banish weapons from the weapon rotation, which is helpful for trying to get the specific weapon combo you're going for, but that also means that you'll essentially be skipping a weapon level up, and that may hurt you in the long run. It's hard to tell, but I think the monsters they send out are time or level based, or both. I'm honestly not sure. Most weapons have an evolution, and you'll need to evolve them as your time in the match progresses because the enemies get, I wouldn't say harder, but maybe more resilient. You evolve weapons by getting them to level 8, having the secondary weapon it synergizes with, and then collecting a chest from a boss enemy. You only need one of the weapons to be level 8 when you get the chest. When you evolve weapons, they change appearance and do more damage. Or sometimes, they add an extra effect on top of whatever the item did before. Some of my favorites are the Bloody Tear, which is the evolution of the whip and the hollow heart. It gives your whip's whooshes a cool red tint and heals on critical hits. The Holy Wand, which is the evolution of the magic wand and the empty tome. It turns you into a magic minigun. And last but not least, the Soul Eater, which is achieved by eating an ungodly amount of garlic and pumarola. This evolution makes you stink so bad that you literally kill things around you. Not unlike the fable, the Ugly Barnacle.
Not at all, boy!
This weapon has stumped some of the greatest philosophers of our time. Some say it's the weakest weapon in the game. Others say nay, literally hands down, one of the greatest weapons in the game. One brave philosopher stated, "Looks like a ball bag." I personally think it's mid and funny. At the time of recording, there are 126 items to find, unlock, and collect. Every weapon and usable item has its own utility and effect, meaning no two runs should play out the same. There are also 25 characters to choose from. Different characters have different starting weapons and effects. For example, Antonio Belpes gets 10% more damage every 10 levels to a max of 50%, while Arca Ladona gets 5% weapon cooldown every 10 levels to a max of 15% reduction. These effects don't usually make or break your run, but they might influence your weapon pick depending on what kind of build you're going for. With such a simple design and concept, you'd think, wow, there's probably not much to do besides get powerful and destroy things, right? Incorrect. There is a map for a reason. Although the tiles do repeat forever, there are items and secrets to discover to keep you busy in each level that will leave you wondering, what else is this game hiding? Not only that, but there are achievements to complete that unlock characters, levels, and items. I was pleasantly surprised by the depth of this game that just seems like a cheap phone game at first glance. I'm not sure if the developer knew they were making a highly addictive game that could ruin lives, but regardless of their intention, they have succeeded in that aspect. When I first got this game, I put in easily 8 hours all at once. Now, I mostly play it when the darkness starts to loom. Or I have to appear to be doing work or taking notes. As long as they can't see your screen, you can just make it look like you're typing. I also forgot to mention, it's only $5. I like to base game purchases off how much of my life I used working versus how many hours of enjoyment I received out of a product to justify purchases. This game far exceeded the amount I would have paid if a generous friend didn't gift it to me already. Before I end this review, I would like to share some aspects of the game that I really enjoyed. At the top of my list is the Moonspell DLC. It released while I was making this review, and it is amazing. The DLC consists of new weapons, characters, and a brand new handcrafted map that isn't just repeating tiles. Because of the way the map is structured, you will have to traverse areas that can trigger different events and enemies to spawn. In doing this, you may question whether you are ready to proceed in a certain direction or not based on your level or what weapons you have. I don't want to show you too much because I think this DLC is best played without too many spoilers, just like the base game. Also, it's only $2 and totally worth it. You might as well get the soundtrack bundle too, because this game's soundtrack is a banger. I've been playing this game with no music, that way I could overlay music in the back of this review, and I didn't realize how much joy I was missing because of this. As soon as I was trying to figure out which tracks to use for this review, I was like,
Kansas don't know how to do no hot links.
a small thing that doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is to me, are the alternate costumes. Brings me back to the days when an alternate costume wasn't just a skin you had to shill for. Not all characters have them, but the ones that do can harken back to what the character was originally based on, or just a cool reference to other characters from other games. Which brings us to the insane amount of references. There are too many to count, and I don't want to flood the screen with them, but here are a few of my favorites. This one. This. And this. Yes, some may say, how is that not intellectual property theft? And I can honestly say to you, shut up, nerd. What are you, a lawyer? Why don't you go to lawyer school and take the bar exam? To some, this game may seem like a shovelware Castlevania asset flip, but I think this game has a little more to offer than meets the eye. Like the old saying goes, never judge someone by the way they look, or a book by the way it's covered. For inside those tattered pages, there's a lot to be discovered. Because if you did that, you'd think there's an actual vampire in this game. 6 out of 10.